The email looked routine. A data analyst at the FBI's cybercrime division was running a random identity check when something didn't add up. One social security number matched 3 different names. Each name belonged to a different address. Each address had tax records, phone numbers, even driver's licenses. At first, they thought it was a clerical error. Then they found another one, and another. Within a week, there were over 1,200 false identities, all active, all verified, and all tied to one man. His name was Elias Warner, but that wasn't the name he used. In fact, Elias had more identities than most people had passwords. It began in the early 2000s. Elias was a systems architect, quiet and brilliant, working on government data integration contracts. He designed frameworks that helped agencies cross-verify citizen records, passport, tax, DMV, FBI. He was building the very system meant to detect identity fraud. That's when he saw it, a simple vulnerability. When data from one system transferred to another, there was a lag, a blind spot lasting a few seconds, during which information could be inserted or modified without triggering alarms. It was invisible, untraceable. Most engineers would patch it. Elias exploited it. At first, it was curiosity. He created one false identity to see if it would pass through. It did. Then 5. Then 10. Each one cleaner, more believable than the last. Every test worked. Each fake identity generated government files, credit history, and digital footprints that no one could question. He had found a way to manufacture people. Elias used them carefully. He opened small bank accounts, registered minor businesses, filed harmless tax returns, just enough to test the system's durability. And it held. Then he got ambitious. He began renting apartments under different names, buying prepaid phones, applying for passports, traveling abroad as different versions of himself. Each trip proved the illusion was perfect. By 2009, Elias had built an invisible empire. One man with over 1,000 digital lives. He used them to move money, transfer property, and build shell corporations across 3 continents. But Elias wasn't in it just for profit. He was obsessed with control. He wanted to prove that the entire identity infrastructure, the thing governments relied on to separate truth from fiction, was a house of cards. In his words, later found in an encrypted journal, if I can make 1,000 versions of myself, who's the real me? The one that pays taxes? The one that disappears? Or the one the FBI is chasing? At the height of his scheme, Elias had created identities so detailed that they fooled background checks, medical systems, and even military contractors. He had CEOs, teachers, consultants, engineers, all fictional, all him. They paid bills, owned cars, and even got jury summons. It was the perfect illusion. But illusions don't last forever. The first crack appeared when one of his identities applied for a loan in California using a social security number tied to a deceased person. The mismatch triggered a routine audit. The audit flagged several other inconsistencies. And when analysts followed the data trail, they realized something terrifying. These fake identities weren't random. They were systemic, each one connected to another through subtle overlaps in address history and payment metadata. Someone wasn't stealing identities. Someone was creating them. In 2014, the FBI launched Operation Mirror, a covert investigation focused on synthetic identity networks. They had no name, no suspect, only patterns. And one by one, the patterns pointed back to government systems Elias had helped design. It was as if the architect had left his signature in the code. They found it, a recurring sequence embedded deep in the metadata of the false profiles, EW000, Elias Warner. By the time agents realized who they were chasing, Elias was already gone. He'd sold his house, liquidated assets, and wiped every trace of his real name. To the world, he didn't exist anymore, but his other selves did. Over 1,200 of them. They rented homes, paid taxes, even renewed driver's licenses, each one fully operational, as if alive. Elias had disappeared into his own creation. Investigators spent years trying to untangle the web. They shut down bank accounts, revoked passports, deactivated records. But for every one they deleted, another appeared, like a hydra made of data. Even within FBI systems, files would mysteriously reappear days after deletion, as if someone was inside the system, undoing their work. Some agents believed Elias was still watching them, that he had built a backdoor, a digital escape hatch that allowed him to manipulate systems remotely. And the truth? They couldn't prove he hadn't. By 2017, the case went cold. Officially, Elias Warner was declared a fugitive. Unofficially, he was treated as a ghost in the machine. There were unconfirmed sightings: London, Prague, Buenos Aires, but nothing verifiable. And each time an identity fraud case surfaced that didn't fit any known pattern, one name resurfaced in whispers among agents: Elias, the man who fooled the FBI with 1,200 fake identities. In 2019, the FBI got a break. A small cybersecurity firm in Toronto reported something unusual. An automated process was pinging their servers every few hours from different countries, using credentials that didn't exist. And in the center of the room, a corkboard filled with maps, news clippings, and one chilling note: "They stopped looking. I didn't stop killing." But the cabin was empty. The ghost was gone again. The woods were empty when agents arrived. Snow had covered the tracks within hours, and the cabin gave them nothing but proof that their killer was real and still out there. Inside the boxes, they found a pattern even the Bureau had missed. Each photograph had a number written in the corner. The numbers matched highway exits across the western United States. When they mapped them, the pins formed a line that followed a single trucking route: Denver to Portland. Ellen Briggs stared at the map for hours before it hit her. He wasn't just traveling randomly. He was a truck driver. They began cross-referencing long-haul routes, delivery schedules, and timestamps from every murder. Out of hundreds of drivers, one name surfaced again and again: Thomas Hale. He'd worked for 3 different freight companies over 20 years. He'd logged routes through every city where a victim had lived. And each time a murder occurred, his truck's GPS had gone dark for roughly 6 hours. No criminal record, no arrests, a spotless employee file. But when agents pulled his employment photo, Ellen's hands went cold. It was the man from the background of the pictures. They tracked him to a rest stop outside Spokane, Washington. Ellen insisted on being there when they took him down. At dawn, as the light cut across the asphalt, agents surrounded his truck. He stepped out slowly, coffee in hand, eyes calm, like he'd been expecting them. Inside the cab, they found gloves, ropes, a camera, and dozens of small photo prints clipped to the dashboard. Each one showed a victim smiling. When they asked why he kept the photos, Hale only said, "Because no one remembers them like I do." The interrogation lasted days. Hale spoke with unsettling clarity, describing each murder as if he were recounting weather reports. He claimed he never picked victims, that they just appeared along his routes: waitresses, receptionists, travelers. He remembered their faces, their apartments, their perfumes. And then he smiled and said, "You never noticed me because I did my job." Forensic teams linked him to the cabin by DNA on a coffee cup. In total, they confirmed 12 murders. Privately, the Bureau believes there were more. When the press learned the truth, the story dominated headlines. For 20 years, Thomas Hale had lived a double life: a dependable trucker by day, an invisible predator by night. He'd crossed state lines hundreds of times, always leaving behind just enough distance to stay ahead of suspicion. At his trial, Hale showed no remorse. When asked why he stopped after the Montana incident, he replied, "I didn't stop. He just finally caught up." He was sentenced to 12 consecutive life terms without parole. No one from his family came to court. Ellen Briggs retired soon after. In her office, she kept one photograph from the cabin. The first victim, smiling on a summer afternoon. On the back, Hale had written, "She looked at me first." The FBI closed the file in 2020. Case 409A, the ghost. But every few months, a letter still arrives at Quantico. No return address, just a line of handwriting, neat and deliberate. There are more.